Chapter 5. So 1 month passed, and then another. Just before the new year, his brother-in-law came to town and stayed at their house. Ilych went to the law courts and pressed Yang for the Rowena and gun shopping. When Ilych came home and entered the study, he found his brother-in-law there, a healthy, florid man, unpacking his portmanteau himself. He raised his head on hearing Ilich's footsteps and looked up at him for a moment without a word. Then the stare told Ilich everything. His brother-in-law opened his mouth to utter an explanation of surprise, but checked himself, and that action confirmed it all. "I've changed, huh?" "Yes, there is a change." And after that, try as he would to get his brother-in-law to return to the subject of his looks, the landlord said nothing about it. When Sylvia Fedorina came home, her brother went out to her. Ilych locked the door and began to examine himself in the glass, first full face, then in profile. He took up a portrait of himself taken with his wife and compared it with what he saw in the glass. The change in him was immense. Then bared his arm to the elbow, looked at them, drew the sleeve down again, sat down on an ottoman, and grew blanker than night. "No, no, this won't do," he said to himself, and jumped up, went to the table, took up some law papers, began to read them, but could not continue. He unlocked the door and went into the reception room. The door leading to the drawing room was shut. He approached it on tiptoe and listened. "No, you are exaggerating," Raskolya Fedorovna was saying. "Exaggerating? Don't you see it? Why, he's dead, ma'am. Look at his eyes. There's no life in them. But what is it that is wrong with him? No one knows. Nikolaevich had said something, but I did not know what. And Lichitsky said quite the contrary." Ilych walked away, went to his own room, lay down, and began musing. The kidney? A floating kidney? He recalled all the doctors and told him before it detached itself the sweet about. And by effort of imagination, he tried to catch that kidney and arrested it and supported it. So that it was needed for this. It seemed to him, no, I got to see Peter Ivanovich again. He ran, ordered the carriage, and got ready to go. "Where are you going, Jane?" asked his wife, with a special sound and exceptionally kind look. This exceptionally kind look irritated him. He looked morosely at him and her. "I must go to see Peter Ivanovich." He went to see Peter Ivanovich, and together they went to see his friend, the doctor. He was in, and Ivan Ilyich had a long talk with him. Reviewing the anatomical and the physiological detail of what, in the doctor's opinion, was going on inside him, he understood it all. There was something, a small thing, in the vermiform appendix. It might all come right, only stimulate the energy of one organ, check the activity of the others, and absorption would take place, and everything would come right. He got him rather late for dinner, ate his dinner, and conversed cheerfully, but could not for a long time bring himself to go back to work in his room. At last, however, he went to the study and did what was necessary, but the consciousness that he had put something aside, the important, intimate matter which he would revert to when his work was done, never left him. When he had finished his work, he remembered that this intimate matter was the thought of his warning form appendix. But he did not give himself up to it, but went to the drawing room for tea. There were callers there, including the examining magistrate who was a desirable match for his daughter, and they were conversing, playing the piano, and singing. Ilych and Praskovia Fedorovna remarked spent that evening more cheerfully than usual, but never for a moment forgot that he had postponed the important matter of the appendix. At 11 o'clock, he said good night and went to his bedroom since his illness. He had slept alone in a small room next to his study, and dressed and took up a novel by Zola, but instead of reading it, he fell into thought. And in his imagination, that desired improvement in the warmiform appendix occurred. There was the absorption and evacuation as the establishment of normal activity. Yes, that's it, he said to himself. I need only assist nature, that's all. He remembered his medicine, rose, took it, and lay down on his back, watching for the benefit action of the medicine and for it to lessen the pain. I need only take it regularly, avoid all injurious influences. I'm already feeling better, much better. He began touching the side. It was not painful to the touch. There, I really don't feel it. It's much better already. He put out the light and turned on his side. The appendix is getting better. Absorption is occurring. Suddenly, he felt the old, familiar, dull, gnawing pain, stubborn and serious. There was the same familiar, loathsome taste in his mouth. His heart sunk. He felt dazed. My God, he muttered. Again, and one never says. But suddenly, the matter presented itself in a quite different aspect. One may form appendix, kidney, he said to himself. It's not a question of appendix or kidney, but of life and death. Yes, life was there. Now it's going, and I can't stop it. Yes, why deceive myself? Is that it obvious to everybody but me that I'm dying? And it's only a question of weeks, days. It may happen in a moment. There's light and now there's darkness. I'm here and I'm going there. Where? A chill came over him. His breathing ceased. He felt only the throbbing of his heart. When I'm not, what will there be? There'll be nothing. Then where shall I be when I'm no more? Can this be dying? No, I don't want to. He jumped up and tried to light the candle. Fell for it with trembling hands. Dropped candle, and the candlestick on the floor. I fell back on his pillow. What's the use? It makes no difference, he said to himself, staring with wide open eye into the darkness. Death. Yes, death. And none of them knows or wish to know it. And they have no pity for me. Now they're playing. He heard through the door the distant sound of a song and its accompaniment. It's all the same to them, but they will die too. Fools, I first, and they later, but it'll be the same for them. And now they're merry, the bits. Anger choked him, and he was agonizingly, unbearably miserable. It seemed possible that all men had been doomed to suffer this awful horror. He raised himself. Something must be wrong. I must calm myself, must think it all over from the beginning. It again began thinking. Yes, the beginning of my illness, I knocked my side, but I was still quite well that day, and the next, it hurt little, then rather more. I saw the doctors and followed the despondency and the anguish. More doctors, and I drew nearer to their base. My strength grew less, and I kept coming nearer and nearer, and now I wasted away. And there is no light in my eyes. I think of the appendix, but this is death. I think of mending the appendix, and all the while, here is death. Can it really be death? Again, terror seized him in a gasp of breath. He leaned down and began feeling for the matches, pressing with his elbow on the stand beside the bed. It was in this way and it hurt him. It was in his way and hurt him. He grew fierce with it, pressed on it still harder, and upset it. Restless and in despair, he fell on his back, expecting death to come immediately. Meanwhile, the visitors were leaving. Praskovia, Fedorovna, was seeing them off. She heard something fall and came in. What had happened? Nothing. I knocked over accidentally. She went out and returned with candle. He lay there, panting heavily, like a man who has run 1,000 yards, and stared upwards at her with a fixed look. What is it, Jane? Oh, no, nothing. Upset it. Why speak of it? She won't understand, he thought. And in truth, she did not understand. She picked up the stand, lit his candle, and hurried away to see another visitor off. When she came back, he still lay on his back, looking upward. What is it? Do you feel worse? Yes. She shook her head and sat down. Do you know, Jen, I think we must ask Lichitsky to come to see you here. There's a man calling in the famous specialist regardless of expense. He smiled malignantly and said no. She remained a little longer and then went out to him to kiss his forehead. While he was kissing him, he hated her. He hated her from the bottom of his soul. It was difficult to refrain from pushing her away. Good night. Please, God, you'll sleep. Yes.